everybody and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be another kind of collection and declutter. I will say I'm not going to be getting rid of a lot of these. There are a few pigments I want to get rid of and a few single shadows that I want to get rid of, but for the most part I don't have a very large single shadow collection. For some of you guys this may be kind of big, but for me it's not as extensive as it was before. So let's go ahead and get started. These are like acrylic drawers that go in one of those like little acrylic drawer organizers, and I'm going to be going through drawer by drawer, swatching everything. So this is going to be kind of a lengthy video. Okay, so for this first drawer here, I have a lot of my NYX single shadows, and I think I am going to keep these. I'll go through and swatch them just in case there are any that I'm really not super fond of. This one is Volatile. These are the prismatic eyeshadows. I don't really have a lot of single shadows that are like matte. Most of the eyeshadows that I have are meant to go kind of over the lid, be some type of topper or something like that. This one is in the shade Gilded. This is one of the first ones I ever picked up. This is in the shade Frostbite. It's this really pretty kind of icy blue. It doesn't swatch really well, but it does pick up pretty nicely with a brush. So there's the shade Frostbite. This one's in the shade Glass Slipper. It's a really pretty kind of mint green. It has a little bit of a gold like reflex to it. So keeping that one. Then we have Mermaid. This is pretty. I haven't worn this one yet, and it's very similar to Gilded. I'd say maybe it pulls a little bit more on the teal side, and Gilded is more, oh not Gilded, Glass Slipper is more on the minty side. So I'm going to keep both for now, but I may eventually get rid of Mermaid. Then this one here is Bewitched. It's kind of like a mossy green. This one reminds me of one of the ones that I have from Urban Decay, and it has kind of like a gold flash to it. All right, so next we have Girl Talk. Very pretty kind of pinky color. These two look very similar. So I have Golden Peach and Fireball. So this is Golden Peach, and then we have Fireball. No, they're definitely different. One's a lot deeper. This is Golden Peach, and that's Fireball right there. So Fireball is definitely a lot deeper, but they look kind of similar in the pan. So then we have Bedroom Eyes. I think I got this one in an Ipsy bag or something like that. This is definitely not a color that I would have picked out, but it's still very pretty. Rose Dust. Ooh, this is a very pretty kind of rose gold color. Hopefully I'm in frame there. So that's Bedroom Eyes, and that's a Rose Dust. And then the last one we have here is Liquid Gold. That is Liquid Gold right there. So I am going to keep all of my NYX ones, and then I'm also going to keep these. I'm not going to swatch these because they get kind of messy, but these are the Inglot and Jennifer Lopez collaboration. So I have 3 of these. These are the Pure Pigment eyeshadows. I have Silver Dollar, Celestial, and then Blazing Rose. So I tried to pick 3 different shades. I'd say Celestial has kind of like a purplish shift to it. This is more of like a pinky, like an icy pink, and then this one is like a very beautiful rose gold. All right, next little drawer here, I have some Urban Decay shadows and some MAC shadows. For the most part, I'm going to keep all of the Urban Decay shadows. I've recently picked up some of these. This one's in the shade Scratch. This one is in Half Baked. I kind of wanted to get rid of these because a lot of these are actually in a lot of my like full-size eyeshadow palettes. This is Midnight Cowgirl. This is so pretty. It's definitely a little bit chunky when you swatch it, so you do have to be careful with it, but it has this very pretty kind of holographic glitters in there. And then you have Just X. This is kind of like a duochrome-y. It reminded me of like a lighter version of Fireball. And then the last one here I have is Mildew. Oh, this is so pretty. It's such a unique color. Okay, I'm not going to swatch these. These are all part of the Selena and MAC collaboration, so I know I'm going to keep all of these. I try not to swatch them because I don't use them that often, and I don't want to have to like sanitize them or anything like that. But I am going to get rid of pretty much all of these. This is the Sephora collection. It's supposed to be a shimmer shadow. It's called Be on the A-List, number 49. So I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to get rid of this. It's a Hikari cream pigment. It's very, very pretty, but I just don't use it. I'm going to keep this one though. This is a NARS dual intensity eyeshadow in the shade Himalaya. I got this as part of like one of the Sephora favorites a long time ago, and it's a pretty kind of dusty, rosy purpley color. Very, very pretty. Keeping that. I'm getting rid of this. This is Becca's Opal. It is completely crumbly. I don't really like it. I didn't originally plan on keeping it as an eyeshadow, but I've tried using it a few times and I don't really like the way it looks on the eyes. I have a Jelly Pom Pom Cosmetics single shadow. This is actually a duo. It's pretty, but I have other like Urban Decay shadows that look just like these. So I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this one. And then I didn't like this one. Oops. I had picked this one up. These are one of the new like Wet n Wild eyeshadows. And I do remember liking Sugar. It was a pretty good shadow. I just don't really like the formulation or the new formulation of the Wet n Wild shadows. So I did pretty good there. I got rid of a few eyeshadows. So let's move on to the next drawer. Alrighty, I have a few things I'm going to get rid of in here. Let's start with these Naked Pigments. This was like a stack. I'm trying to remember where I picked this up from. It either came in like a BoxyCharm or something like that. This was the Urban Rustic stack. And I like keeping mine like this so that I can see all of the colors. These aren't colors that I use normally, but I still really, really like them. These are kind of expensive. I have played around with them a few times. There's a few shades in here that I haven't played with, but it's on my list to use, so I'm going to go ahead and keep them. Then I have this from Wet n Wild. It's a loose pigment. I have a couple loose pigments that are the same shade, and I prefer the quality of, so I'm going to get rid of this one, but I am going to keep my 3 MAC loose pigments. I have a little bit of animal hair there. This one is in Kitschmiss. This one is in Platinum, I believe. Yep, Platinum. This is in the color Chartreuse. So then I have these, and I had originally kept these because they're very, very pretty, but they're just too dark for me. I do have the lightest version, which I can use as a highlighter, but these were the ColourPop loose highlighters, and I have Nomi and Au Revoir, and they're just too dark for me. But like I said, I had kept them to use as loose pigments, but I have dupes for these colors already, and I like the formulation of those better, so I'm going to declutter these and keep the other pigments that I actually prefer. So all of these are the L'Oreal Infallible eyeshadows, and I'm going to keep every single one of these because these are one of my all-time favorite eyeshadows. So I'm going to go through real quickly and tell you what the names are. I'm not going to swatch them because they're kind of a pain in the butt to swatch with my nails. So we have the shade Burst Into Bloom, Liquid Diamond, Infinite Sky, Endless Sea, Gilded Envy, Golden Emerald, Bottomless Java, Bronzed Taupe, the famous Amber Rush, Always Pearly Pink, Iced Latte, another classic, and last but not least, Silver Sky. So yeah, that's everything that I'm getting rid of from this drawer. So let's move on to the next one. I'm gonna pretty quickly move on from this because I'm not getting rid of a single thing from here. These 3 are the Dose of Color Ideal Duos. So these are the ones that have like a cream shadow on the top here and then a pressed pigment down at the bottom. I pretty much never use the top portion of it. I only use the bottom portion, but these are expensive. These are like $20, $25 a piece. So I did pay a pretty penny for these. I am going to go ahead and keep them. I have one of their core ones in the shade Shell, and then these are part of like the mint collection. So I have this very pretty mint color called Mint to Be, and then kind of like a rose gold color called Magic Moment. I love those. I've used them several times, keeping them in my collection, and these are pretty new. I decided to pick up the ColourPop Superstar Loose Pigments, and they are kind of difficult to work with, but I haven't played with every single color. I may get rid of some of these purples eventually because because I do have them in like the regular Super Shock shadows that they have, their regular formula, and I prefer that formula a lot better. So I may eventually get rid of some of these purples, but for the most part, I'm going to keep them because I haven't really played around with them that much. Alrighty, and then we have this last drawer in my single shadow and loose pigment collection, and I have some in here that I'm going to get rid of. So let's start off with this. This is a shadow from BoxyCharm. I think it's actually made exclusively for BoxyCharm. Or not BoxyCharm, Glossybox, excuse me. I used to get Glossybox a long time ago, and this is in the shade Glossy Mauve, and I don't really care for this formula, so I'm gonna get rid of that. I am going to keep all of these. These are the Kat Von D the Metal Crush eyeshadows, and I bought these when they pretty much were super mega discounted, so I'm going to keep these. I have the shade Dancing, Dolce, Raw Power, Electric Warrior, and then the famous Thunderstruck. So I'm going to keep all those. I am, however, going to get rid of this one. This is a City Color Shimmer Shadow. Although I like the formula, I have so many shadows like this already in my collection, and I think I prefer the formulation of some of those much better than this. So I think I am going to go ahead and get rid of this one. I am going to keep this. This is the L'Oreal Infallible Paints, the metallic ones, and I just really, really love this color. I think it's such a unique color. It's this really pretty kind of rose gold peachy color. And then I'm of course going to keep this. I recently picked this up in one of my CCO hauls, and this is the Bobbi Brown Single Eyeshadow in the color Camel. For the most part, this is the only matte shadow that I have in my collection, so I am going to keep it. I haven't even played around with it yet, so yeah. All right, that is it for this portion of my collection and declutter. My goal was just to get rid of things that I knew I wasn't using or that I was never going to use. Next round, I think I'm going to get rid of a lot of those the ColourPop loose shadows, but I think I did a pretty good job. I've been hanging on to some of these for a long time, thinking that, you know, I could find a different way of using it, or, you know, maybe I just wanted to try the formula one more time, but no, I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of them, pass them along to somebody who can either get better use out of them or just toss them. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you do. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I currently post 3 times a week on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And then on Sundays, I like to post a plan with me. So hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.